Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Have you ever just stopped for a second to think about the incredible, almost sci-fi reality of modern agriculture? I mean, we are literally living in an era where the boundary between nature and laboratory innovation is seamlessly blending together, and it's doing it to feed and heal the world. It's absolutely fascinating. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it all works. So, are the animals in our food and medicine supply actually living science fiction? I know, it sounds kind of like an exaggeration, right? But the truth is, those buzzwords you've probably heard thrown around on the news, words like CRISPR and cloning, they aren't just distant concepts from some futuristic movie anymore. They are everyday tools being used right now in agriculture. We are fundamentally shaping the building blocks of life to solve some of the biggest challenges on Earth. Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly are we talking about here? Well, livestock biotechnology is defined as the application of biotechnology to improve the genetic potential, health, reproduction, and productivity of farm animals for agricultural and industrial purposes. Basically, we're talking about our domesticated animals: cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, poultry, and buffalo. It's all about applying highly advanced science directly to these animals to make farming more efficient, sustainable, and remarkably productive. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll start with what livestock biotechnology actually is. Then we'll open up the biotech toolbox, trace applications from farm to pharmacy, discuss the ethical dilemma, and finally, look at the future of farming. Section 1, what is livestock biotechnology? At its core, this field isn't just one single thing. It's a highly integrated, super powerful combination of molecular biology, genetics, reproductive technologies, and bioinformatics. And what's really interesting here is that these objectives aren't just about farming for the sake of farming. Think about what we're actually trying to achieve. Yes, of course, we want to improve meat, milk, egg, and wool production. We want to enhance disease resistance and boost reproductive efficiency. But fundamentally, these objectives aim to solve massive global problems. Things like improving feed conversion efficiency and preserving valuable animal genetic resources are direct responses to the urgent need for global food security. We're engineering ways to feed a rapidly growing planet without exhausting its natural resources. Section 2. The Biotech Toolbox. The leap in technology here is just staggering. The tools we have at our disposal to achieve those lofty objectives are nothing short of revolutionary. We start with foundational methods, right? Things like artificial insemination to improve breeding efficiency, and embryo transfer technology to rapidly multiply our elite animals. We even use in vitro fertilization for laboratory fertilization. But then, we cross over into the truly futuristic. We're talking about cloning, literally producing genetically identical animals through techniques like somatic cell nuclear transfer. We have genetic engineering to introduce or modify entire genes. And then there's gene editing, using the famous CRISPR-Cas9 system to precisely edit animal genes with the accuracy of a word processor. And we round this all out with marker-assisted selection, which helps us quickly identify animals with the absolute most desirable genes. But here is the secret to all of this. None of the tools in that toolbox work without foundational data. Molecular biology and bioinformatics are kind of the unsung heroes here. By using DNA sequencing and PCR alongside massive computing power to analyze livestock genomes, scientists can map entire genomes. They can identify genetic markers and disease-associated genes to perfectly predict breeding values. It's all about genomic selection, taking vast amounts of computational data to support incredibly precise physical changes in the animals. Section 3, from farm to pharmacy. Now, it's one thing to talk about DNA sequencing in a lab, but how does this actually apply to the real world? How does this impact the food we eat and the medicines we take every single day? Well, it directly impacts our food. In dairy production, we're seeing higher milk yields and vastly improved disease resistance. In meat production, biotechnology is giving us faster growth rates and better feed efficiency, which, by the way, means less environmental strain per pound of food. For poultry, we get increased egg production and better feed conversion. And crucial to animal welfare and food security, disease control is being completely revolutionized through rapid vaccine development and incredibly precise diagnostics. This technology directly shapes a safer, much more abundant food supply. But this next application, this is perhaps the most amazing part of the whole shebang. Through genetic engineering, we now have transgenic animals that can literally produce valuable therapeutic proteins directly in their milk, eggs, or blood. We are talking about farm animals functioning as living bioreactors, producing vital human medicines like blood clotting factors, critical hormones, and life-saving antibodies. It is absolutely mind-blowing to think that a dairy cow or a flock of chickens could be producing the exact proteins needed to treat human diseases.
Section 4. The Ethical Dilemma.
Now, it is incredibly easy to get swept up in the scientific marvels here, but we have to pivot and talk about the heavy burden of responsibility. The power to alter life at the genetic level is immense, and it demands careful scrutiny. So the crucial point is balancing these scales impartially. On one side, the advantages are undeniable. Massively improved productivity, enhanced disease resistance, vital increases in food production, and even the conservation of endangered breeds. But we have to look at the limitations. We face high implementation costs, steep technical complexity, and a very real, very dangerous potential for reducing genetic diversity. Plus, there are significant regulatory and public acceptance challenges. It is a true double-edged sword. Furthermore, there are core ethical considerations that simply cannot be ignored. The industry and regulators have to continuously scrutinize animal welfare, the moral implications of genetic modification, the impact on biodiversity conservation, long-term food safety, and the broader environmental impacts. The sources are absolutely crystal clear on this. Responsible regulation and strict ethical oversight are entirely essential. Without them, the sustainable use of livestock biotechnology just isn't possible.
Section 5. The Future of Farming. So, now that we fully understand the delicate nature of this science, where does the industry go from here? Let's move on and see how this builds, because recent advances are really just a launching pad. In the near future, we're looking at the deep integration of whole genome sequencing with AI-assisted breeding. We're looking at advanced stem cell technologies, and perhaps most urgently, scientists are working on breeding climate-resilient livestock to withstand a rapidly changing environment. Combine that with precision livestock farming and even more advanced biopharmaceutical production, and the farm of the future looks like a highly sophisticated, integrated technological ecosystem. If you take away just one thing from this explainer, let it be this thought right here. Livestock biotechnology is about applying advanced genetic and reproductive technologies to improve health, productivity, and genetic quality. Why? To support sustainable agriculture, ensure global food security, and drive innovations in biopharmaceutical production. Understanding this technology is absolutely vital because it is quite literally a foundational pillar for the future of our world's food supply. I want to leave you with this final, provocative question to think about today. As AI and CRISPR continue to evolve at lightning speed, how will we balance the urgent, growing need for global food security with the absolute necessity of rigorous ethical oversight? We have the scientific power to rewrite the future of agriculture, for sure, but it's up to us to navigate the delicate moral responsibility that comes with it. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I really hope this explainer gave you a clearer picture of the incredible science feeding our world today.